It's ups and downs and anything. Keep going, my nigga. It's better than I damn near had to sacrifice everything. Keep going, my.
It's ups and downs and everything. Sorry for the wait. It's been a very, very long week for your boy Mello. Hence, I said there's ups and downs. But it's your boy Mello, TMG, Rises and Fallers, back with a new segment, back with the next week. What you telling me? But first and foremost, before I get into it, can you please follow us, subscribe, whichever way you're taking this, maybe on YouTube, on Instagram. Follow us on all socials. That's the Instagram, that's the Twitter. We've got a podcast on the Apple and the Spotify. But, with the boys, we're just trying to make it. But with no further ado, I'll get started. Ashtray the gang. That's his little celebration. That's my celebration. Next time I score for the A, that's what I'll be doing. Ashtray the gang. Like Quavo say, that boy different. He really different. He really is different. I mean, his first playoffs, I believe his third season in the league, and he's giving you straight buckets. From the outside, from the inside, he's dishing it. He's averaging 28 and 10, 47% from the field, 37% from three, and he's taking some deep threes, Steph Curry range, logo range. And he's really taking up the role as the villain in, the Knicks' home ground, Madison Square Garden. He's really taking up the role of the villain. He's embracing it. It's a real shame that that bastard had to spit on him back at MSG. But, up 3-1. Well, they've knocked him out, but, last week he put him up 3-1 at the brink of elimination. He's quieting all the noise. There's no noise in MSG right now. All the Stephen A's, the Spike Lees, all the New York Knicks fans, they're quiet now. But, man, boy, the league's in good hands. Him, likes of him, Booker, Tatum, look at the Doncic. Wow, the league's in good hands, boy. The league's in good hands. But yeah, that's Ashtray the gang. So I can't even do the sound right. Shit. But from basketball we move on to football. And this guy, you just can't hate him. He's just such a lovable guy. And that is N'Golo Kanté of Chelsea and France. Previously of Leicester and some clubs in France that I can't name right now. But yeah. Listen to this. This guy is just clutch. He's just a big game performer. N'Golo Kanté just equals winning. Literally. But man of the match in the semi-final against the mighty Madrid. Well, they're not so mighty anymore, but you get my drift. Both semi-final legs, not just the first leg, home and away. The man of the match. Final against the behemoth that is Man City. Even though Pep wanted to do a bit of tinkering. He's becoming a tinker man in my books. But that's a story for a different day. In fact, it's a story for today. But it's going to be a bit later. Man of the match performance. He's the difference. When this guy goes, there's winning. He's basically won all. The only thing that is left on his mantelpiece that needs to be put on his mantelpiece is the European Championships. And hopefully he can get that this year. He's won Premier Leagues with Leicester, with Chelsea, World Cups, Champions Leagues, FA Cups, I believe a Carling Cup. But that boy different. But yeah, he was just everywhere. He covered every blade of grass. Tackles, changing the games, breaking up attacks, starting attacks for his team. Like I said, he's a barometer of winning right now. Where if you want to win, get N'Golo Kanté in your team. I mean, I'm really, really happy for him as well because what folks were saying about him beforehand, they were really crucifying this guy, saying, "Oh, he ain't really it no more. He's this, he's that. I mean, blah blah blah. This, that." Saying, the game's kind of changed. Can he change with the game? All this sort of nonsense. But he responded in fashion. He responded in turn. And right now, he's well in the line, well in with a shout for Ballon d'Or honours. I can't even lie. If he has a good European Championship, I say France win it, he's a shoo-in. Literally, it's him, Lewandowski. I don't know. But I'm running you quickly the last 9-10 years that N'Golo Kanté's had. So in the last 19 years in order, he was a champion at National, League 2 football, League 1 football, League 2 football, League 1 football. Signs for Leicester City in 2015. Premier League champions in 2016. Premier League champions again, back-to-back, with a different team. One of the only few guys, maybe the only guy to do it with Chelsea. With Chelsea the next year. World Cup champions in 2018, as we know. Europa League champions with Chelsea. I forgot to mention that one. And now he's Champions League champion. I mean, boy. Just boy. That's a run and a half. But shout out to N'Golo Kanté. But from football, we go back to basketball. One of my favorite guys. I've been trying to, emulate his hairstyle. Let me know how I'm doing. That is the Greek Freak. Even though he's Nigerian, know they carry last. Giannis, it's not on the show. It's his team, the Bucks. The Bucks. They stood up and were counted for. They confronted their demons. They confronted their destroyers, and they completely destroyed them. The team that bumped them out of the playoffs last season, the Miami Heat, the Bucks got rid of them. Literally got rid of them. Sweep. No, not gentlemen. Real sweep. I wish I had my broomstick with you here, broomstick with myself here, because I'll be able to really emphasize my point. But they had the opportunity to do what the Clippers did. And, really mess around with the seeding, try to avoid a team that you don't really want to face right now. But they didn't. They said, you know what, we're going to go through this team. We're going to cast away our demons. We're going to exercise our demons. And we're going to come through the other side. And that's what they did. But look how the Clippers are doing right now. They're struggling with the Dallas Mavericks. We'll see what they do today. But Drew Holiday, massive pickup. It's a massive upgrade on Eric Bledsoe. He's an elite defender, especially at the guard level. Probably the best guard defender in the league. He can score towards a top level, and he can assist to a top level as well. I mean, he can score from the outside to inside. He's a real team player, got leadership skills. He's a real guy, and he's made a big difference. Him with PJ Tucker. They got some dogs in their team. They ain't going to let themselves go outside. And hopefully they can, come out the other side against the Nets, but we'll wait to see with that one. I mean, Holiday as well took the pressure off Giannis, and most importantly, Middleton. Middleton has to be the second guy. Middleton, he was bought for a third guy. If Middleton's your third guy, your team is elite. If you're your second guy, not so much. And that's why Middleton's able to do what he did in the first game. The only close game there was, to the wire, overtime, the game winner. But yeah, the Bucks are more versatile defensively and offensively. They ain't just going through Giannis all the time. They can rotate on defense. They have versatile defenders. And to win, these are the type of wrinkles you need in your game. These are the type of change-ups, the type of mold you need to go to. When one team goes high, you need to go high with them. When one team goes low, you need to go low. Maybe you want to switch up, go high when they go low. You need to be able to offer different things and be versatile, Have many different strings to your body, like an elite level boxer that, Floyd Mayweather's going to show us tomorrow. I mean, you want to take on the inside, you could go on the inside. You want to go on the outside, you could go on the inside. You want to go make it scrappy. You want to be a jabbing punch, jabbing hole. You want to go for the knockout. These are the things you need, because when you want to be a champion, you're going to have to face various different tests. And that's what it is. But for my risers, you know what time it is. I go to my fallers. And I mentioned him before a bit earlier on today, the Tinker Man. That's what I'm calling him right now. Because the last few years, since his last World Champions in 2011, I believe, he's been a Tinker Man. Especially the last 3 years. Last few years. He just can't help himself. He's doing a madness. That is Pep Guardiola. My favourite manager. Probably even of all time. My favourite manager. Definitely my lifetime. Pep Guardiola. The football he plays and displays, he's a real aspiration. He's a real aspirational character. He's an inspiration, sorry. I manage youth kids. I'm doing my badges. He inspires me. I won't even lie. But he does too much, man. At times, he can't help himself tinkering with the lineup, changing the winning formula. I don't know why. My friend CT will say maybe he wants to be seen as this great tactician, but we already see you as that. We already see your philosophy as being the elite of the elites. The aesthetics you bring to us, the football you display is amazing. We already praise your tactics. Why are you doing all this nonsense? I mean, Leo Fernandinho, no Rodri. You've already shown us what you could do without a traditional number 9. You've done it before when you put Messi there, and you know what I mean. You've shown us the false 9 tap thing, and now you're telling us you don't want to play Rodri or Fernandinho for the biggest game of the season. I don't know why. Because the goal they scored when Mark got the ball and passed him straight down the middle, that's where more time either one of those guys would have been on mount, or one time they would have been able to pitch to cut that pass. Or at least to help out if the ball went over their heads, to be a 3-on-2 instead of being 2-on-2 at the back with Diaz and Stones. No, Diaz and Zivchenko against Havertz and Werner. But they weren't there. Why, Pep? And you also start on Sterling for what? I don't know why. You cast him aside for most of the running towards the business end of the season. He was playing poorly, so I can't really blame you there. But you started for what reason? He got put in Reece James' pocket. So I don't have a pocket right now because I'm wearing shorts, but you know how it be. But you were out-coached by Tuchel, and Tuchel's won the last 3 games against you. 3 on a bounce. And it's crazy. And the most important thing, the biggest takeaway is, I still can't call you the GOAT yet. Some people, they call you the GOAT, but for me, if you want to be the greatest of anything, especially these highly competitive and legendary sports, be it basketball, be it football, you have to be the absolute standard bearer. And I'm sorry for me to say you're the absolute standard bearer in the history of the sport. You need to win another UCL. Because I want there to be as minimal excuses for people to criticize you as much as possible. There has to be minimal things for people to criticize about you. And people can really criticize, oh, you haven't won a Champions League outside Barcelona or without Messi. And it's true, you haven't won it. You know what I mean? But you had good teams, you haven't won it for whatever reason. Because I don't know, you're doing a Mazza. Same way I don't say Messi's the goal, because he hasn't won an international trophy outside of. He hasn't won a trophy outside of Barcelona. He hasn't won an international trophy. And he's had capable teams. He's been to 4 finals. But, people these days, they allow, they call people the GOATs for the bare minimum. That's what it is. I mean, when there's other guys that have achieved more and played to a similar or high level, but, because it's my time. But that's a story for a different day. I won't digress. But, but from that, just to finalize that point, for me to be the GOAT, you need to be the highest of the high standard. You need to be the standard bearer. And if you're not, the players, people that have achieved more than you, done more than you, I'm sorry, you can't be that GOAT. Whichever era. Relatively speaking, But anyways, I go to Jimmy B. Jimmy Buckets, or Jimmy No Buckets, because he was not getting buckets. Definitely not efficiently. I gave him huge respect last season. I said he was a top 10 player, top 11, 12, especially after the bubble run. Taking the Lakers 6 undermanned. And, the leadership skills he displayed, the do-all skills he displayed, defensively, offensively, even though he wasn't really shooting from distance that great, but he could still shoot the mid-range. And this season, you let me down. Because you are awful. 30% from the field. 27% from 3. These are awful stats. Averaging like 14, 15 points. Horrendous. You're the star man. You're the leader of this team. But this series, you were far from. I'm sorry, you can't just let this happen. A guy of your caliber, when I percentage to that level, you can't let me down like that. Are you just a bubble star? Because that's what we're thinking. Like, can you only do it in the bubble when the conditions are a bit murky, the water's a bit muddied up? Is that all you got to offer? Please let me know, because I was really disappointed in what you had to show me in this series against the Bucks. The team that you swept last year. They may be a bit different, but you swept them last year. What are you doing? You're just ruining it. But yeah, from Jimmy Buckets, hopefully they might get like a Kawhi sound like that. But Jimmy Buckets, I'm very disappointed. I even got your jersey. Come on, man. God. But from basketball, we go back to football, and the boy DDG, or David De Gea, or David No Penalty Saver. That's what I might as well call him. Because the streets are saying you haven't saved a penalty since 2016. That's 5 years. That's crazy. You conceded 11 penalties straight. 11 straight. 11. That's a whole team. Goalkeeper to striker. And you missed a crucial pen. Saved by Jerome Rulli. Football manager guys didn't know about him. Talented young keeper back in the day. I don't think he's really reached his potential, but is what it is. Your own penalty was weak, lacked effort, lacked spirit, and was easily saved. I mean, you conceded 11 penalties. At least 2 to 3 of them you probably could have done a lot better with and potentially saved. Because there's at least one you definitely got a strong hand to, and it went in. Wow. And the sad thing for you is it looks like you're out. Well, maybe not sad for you, but it looks like you're out of your. It looks like you're out or on the way out of Manchester, Old Trafford, especially with the rise of Henderson. Are you going to be there next season? We don't know. De Gea, please. I mean, there was a few seasons where, at least 2-3 seasons where you were considered the best goalkeeper in the world, and you've gone back to your early United frailties and fragility. I don't know what's happened to you, David De Gea. Please, I don't know what's happened. I just don't know. I want to know, because De Gea is appalling right now. And that penalty shot just summed you all up in the last 24 months. Really, not really quite up to snuff, are you? But it's your boy Mello. TMG rises and falls, back with another one. And that's it. Let's get it.